Hello and welcome to a review of a very old LEGO set. This is Ambulance from the year 1970 or 1971, one of the two. It was released 8 years before minifigures. This is definitely old school LEGO. I think a little bit past the Samsonite era, but still has a lot of those hallmarks of the classic LEGO style. The first being these wheel holes that, you have a metal rod in between them. These are actually in very good condition. You can see the top of it, like look at that, that is pretty impeccable. But yeah, it also, something interesting about this era is that some pieces have the old school LEGO logo printed on, not the sort of the simple line version, you see nowadays. It is more distinctly the LEGO logo or something, a semblance of that, which is interesting. Yeah, it's inconsistent, and sometimes the pieces are actually printed in different directions. The LEGO logo is in different directions, but that's really that's really a minute detail. Even the pieces in this copy of it, I think this is just a different, newer 2x3 plate, 2x3 brick. But I guess it just shows you the difference. That yeah, this is very much a different logo, and it's interesting. It's interesting to see that kind of stuff pop up here and there. So yeah, extremely simple build. No minifigure could fit in this thing. It's a very different scale than what we see nowadays. A little bit bigger than micro scale, but not by too much. It feels somewhat substantial within itself. You see these even the simplest elements are pretty different than what you see nowadays. These two 1x1 plate pieces are hilarious because I really thought that they were like dark blue, translucent dark blue, but maybe that color didn't exist yet, so they're just normal blue, very standard. Like almost nothing differentiates this from the police car. The designs are so similar, but that's so charming because it's like, okay, they kind of feel like they're in a set. One thing that's actually pretty interesting are the prints in this era are done quite a bit differently. It almost looks like a stamp more than it is a print. And Bricklink denotes that this is actually embossed into the piece rather than, a layer, a printing layer. It's embossed inside of it. So only the printed parts are, in that inside layer. It's a bit, you can kind of feel a texture there. And it almost looks like a sticker. Like I really thought it was a sticker, but it isn't. And the same is true about these hospital prints. They really do look like stickers, especially considering how they've aged and chipped a little bit. But no, that is actually a print. And the way it kind of, there's a slight, has a slight recessed part of it. You can kind of see the bump. No, it's not a sticker. It's a recessed print, which is interesting, just fascinating. Also, these clear pieces were very popular back then, not so much nowadays. They were not very clear. Maybe they've just aged poorly or something. Oh my god, my LEGO tripod is dying as we speak. But maybe they've aged poorly, I'm not sure. But yeah, they always have this like yellowish hue, or actually this one's in pretty fantastic condition. So it does look more clear, but this one kind of shows what I mean, where there's definitely a yellowness to it that I feel like was not intentional, or maybe that's the best they could do. I'm not sure. I did clean this set, even though there's definitely a bunch of chunks of random stuff in it. I just found it in a lot of LEGO, and I thought, you know what? I've never reviewed a set I don't think I've ever reviewed a set that's this old, I've done a few before minifigures, but not too many. It's just interesting, this kind of style would be pretty popular throughout the 70s. Even the first few minifigure sets, in 1978 and 79, I think even, had stuff in this scale where there'd be a vehicle like this and then a minifigure right next to it. Even though he couldn't really fit into it, I guess he could go on top. Just like very simple, basic, classic stuff. Very comparable to a Hot Wheels car or something like that. It rolls around. Look at that. That was all you needed back then. But they added random weird prints anyways, and that's admirable. So yeah, that's really all there is to say about the set. Very simple, classic stuff. Yeah, durable. That's what happens when it's all bricks. You could drop this thing down a flight of stairs and it'd still probably stay intact. This is like the piece that's probably the weakest link, but even then, these parts have been stuck together for so long that makes sense that they'll probably stick together for another few decades. Bye-bye.